Okay folks, welcome back. Today we have quite a cluttered workspace, and we have the Trangia insert, which caused a bit of kerfuffle last week with my video. Everybody's saying, well, why don't you use it to boil rice as it's meant to be used for? I will just point out yet again that when I bought this, it was marketed as an insert for the Trangia to control the flame. It was only when I downloaded the instructions in English that it started saying about rice cooking. Now, I decided to go ahead with my original video showing what it would be like for somebody that just bought this under the impression it was a way of regulating the flame for the Trangia. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I put up a poll on my community page asking if people wanted to see it cooking rice. And they did. So we're going to cook some rice. Now, 20 mils of alcohol is what they say you need to fill. Just make sure we get it all in. 200 mils of water with 150 grams of rice. And I'll be cooking it with the lid on. Now I'm using this pot because this can be sacrificial. I don't mind if this boils dry and ruins the pot. It's one that I don't really use. Before we start anything, this, according to the instructions, is a means to introduce a light start to the process of cooking the rice. The actual burner itself won't bloom until about 9 or 10 minutes in, and the whole process takes 20 minutes. So I'm expecting to see just this at the beginning, heating up the water. Then this will bloom and give a more intense boil. And then as the alcohol runs out, it will lower it again and leave me with a bowl of fluffy rice, which I can then partake of. It's just a bog standard long grain rice, washed and filtered water. Okay, so we'll give it a light. I've moved the burner down as there wasn't much room between the pot and the burner. Now basically this will entail 20 minutes at least of filming rice cooking. I could inflict this upon you, but instead I'll edit out the parts where nothing is happening. So you'll see the timer and each significant part of the process. Okay, that's 7 minutes in. We're getting a bit of spluttering as of this vapor coming up, and it's wanting to start blooming. I'd also like to point out that this is described as something that you would leave unattended to cook your rice. I'm sorry, there's no way I'm leaving a liquid fueled stove unattended. So we're 8 minutes in, and you can start to hear a little bit of simmer, the start of a simmer. 9 minutes 44 seconds, we have it bloomed. So not much difference with the pot on or not, depending when you put the pot on. In the previous video, it only bloomed at about 10 minutes. So now I'm expecting this to bring it to the boil. I should point out that I will not be interfering with this at all. I won't be moving the pot, taking the pot off, or removing the lid. It's supposed to be a leave alone product, so I'll leave it alone. The jets are beginning to lose their flame. So, as expected, it should be less powerful and will be in the final stage of the cooking. I now just have to wait until the flame goes out totally, which according to the instructions should be in about 5 minutes. So that's 20 minutes, 21 minutes. The flame is still going. Now they said 20 minutes to cook, but this is supposed to be an automatic rice cooker, and I put an exact amount of fuel that they asked for. So what do? Do I leave it until it burns out, or do I take it off? For all I know, it could be burning at the moment. Okay, I checked the instructions and they said 20 minutes for perfectly cooked rice, including warming time. We're now in 22 minutes, so no, it's not cooked. Okay, so have a look. That's the rice starting to burn at the bottom. Can you see that? I left this in for 23 minutes. They recommended 20 minutes. I followed the instructions to the letter. I put in the right amount of fuel, 20 mLs. I put in 150 grams of rice and 200 mils of water. The instructions said it would be ready after 20 minutes. I left it for 23 minutes. All the water's basically gone. I didn't take the lid off, so it would be steamed. And this rice isn't cooked. I'll probably be panned in the comments section. Somebody will point out that I did something wrong, but I did follow the instructions that came with the insert. If this had worked, I would have used it with a spare burner in the kitchen, but it didn't. And this was in ideal environment. No wind, not pissing rain on the side of a mountain, in a room with no breeze, nothing. Now, there are some factors that we have to take into account. I'm using an aluminium pot and a Trangia burner. Other people have used ever new titanium burners, Toke's titanium pots, and they say that they get perfect fluffy rice. If I had left this until the fuel had burnt out, I would have had half the rice burnt and the rest a bit tainted of burnt flavour. I would also have had to have waited a long time. This was 23 minutes and it wasn't cooked. Now, after doing, say, 20 kilometres walk, I want to make a meal. I can't just leave this unattended. It's an open flame. I'd have to sit, keep an eye on it, the way I was today. And for me, it doesn't do the job it says it's supposed to. Thanks for everyone that voted, and now I'll decide what I'm going to do with this rice. Until the next time, folks. Bye-bye.